You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 270, posted December 2020. Mummy Corps of Engineers.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill, the Dog and Pony Adventures. Adventure setting, Curse of Strahd. We are joining our adventurers as they further their exploration of Barovia. I am your Dungeon Master, Tony Sindelar, and joining me today are several players of... I will introduce them in an order that does not represent how my favorites are. This order is totally random, and we will start with Erica Ensign. Welcome to the podcast.
So I'm not your favorite? Is that what we just definitively determined?
Not my favorite.
I'm sure one of the listeners will figure out all of those negatives and tell me
They
later.
have done more work than I have.
Yes, I am playing Brildish, a dwarven paladin, who also has a celestial pony named Pony Sindelarnt. Although
Indeed.
Pony is not here. He's downstairs.
He's downstairs. Ponies can't take elevators. Canon. Also
Elevors?
here it's... What?
Elevors? What'd you say?
Also here, it's Micah Sargent.
I play Elevor, the half-elf druid, who sometimes gets confused whenever the people say the word elevator.
Which does not come up often in Dungeons & Dragons.
But here we are.
But when it does.
When it does, it does. Also here, it's Jane Ritt. Welcome, Jane.
Hello, I am playing Lena Lena, the human rogue.
And everyone's favorite idea landlord, it's Dan Morin.
Oh man, they're gonna put that on my tombstone, aren't they? I play Cast in Onatar's Crucible, aka Crucible, a warforged cleric of the god Onatar.
And last but not least, it's Aline Sims. Hi, Aline.
Hi, so I'm the favorite because I'm last.
And not
Possibly.
least.
Science.
You're either the
Yeah.
favorite or the least favorite. Those are your options.
Yeah. And I play Emra Soliana, the wood elf ranger, her dog Androdite, and occasionally I fill in to help Arena. What's her
Coliana.
name?
Coliana.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Wait, why did I think
Yeah.
it was Soliana?
Nope.
I
Because
don't know.
that's Emra's last name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
you guys
what?
related? Are you like
Arena
cousins?
Soliana. Yeah.
That's Dan. Do you think that's how cousins work?
Sometimes names evolve as people migrate from one plane of reality to another.
Oh
my
yeah,
God, I love
yeah. In Barovia, the old country, it was Koliana, but when she came over on the boat, it's like
I feel like
an
there's
astral
weird
boat.
time plane shenanigans
boat.
here where Irina Koliana passes down. Maybe Imra Soliana is her great granddaughter. Possibly. Could be.
Yeah,
or the other way around.
The name
Oh,
was
yeah.
changed at Ellis Island. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Elevor Island?
Oh, no.
First of all, worst island. Or best
I don't-
island. I'm not sure, actually.
We don't know. So it's clearly somewhere in the middle.
It doesn't
There
have
are
any
lots of
elevators.
animals on the island.
I have not encountered a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with immigration laws in them yet, and we're gonna keep moving.
Achievement unlocked.
Wait,
Yeah.
I still want to know more about this astral boat.
It's a boat that
Spell-
moves across
That's when we
realms.
Go to Spelljammer.
Yeah. Realms are complicated. I don't think there's a great map that shows all the different realms in Dungeons and Dragons. I believe Barovia is not actually on it because it's part of the normal realm, but it's tucked away and hard to get to. As
get to
opposed to
Athos
other,
either.
you can't get to Athos either.
Yeah.
So it turns out that map is pretty incomplete, is what I'm saying. Take
We
that.
shouldn't be
map.
trusted to go to Spelljammer.
No.
We shouldn't be trusted anywhere astral,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I want to fly
You're
an
an
astral
astral.
boat.
All
What'd
right.
you call me?
So our adventurers had traveled across Barovia, that is Big Barovia. They started in Barovia, that is Little Barovia. They have been taken on the role of escorting Arena Koliana from Barovia, Little Barovia, to somewhere safe. Where is safe in Barovia? Big Barovia? Unclear. They have been to the town of Vallaki. It was real bad. They left the town of Vallaki. / were chased out. It's unclear. There was
We left.
Probably they need to get different cloaks before they go back, is
We
what I'm
agreed
saying.
to disagree.
They are on the road. They fought a werewolf. They have now reached one tower of Rictavio, retired circus performer and just normal guy. But wait, he is not. Rictavio has divulged to you that he is actually one Rudolf von Richten, super cool monster hunter, part-time big cat owner, but like imagine how you felt about that like a week ago. um, and yeah, so Rictavio has disclosed a variety of secrets to you, and he's very impressed with you, who you are. He has referred to you as the chosen one and has pledged to help you specifically with any information he might provide for you in your adventures, in your quests. For he has traveled some amount over the throughout the land of Barovia, and he is a monster hunter. He is more in touch with knowledge of things of the dark than your average Barovian.
We
No
also
offense, Lena.
asked if he would think about coming along, and he was non-committal, but he seemed like he might do it. And Elevor befriended his tiger.
Yeah, I suspect that the tiger may accompany you in the future because of an incredibly good animal handling role. So we rejoin our adventure. It's in Rictavio's tower. You are sipping tea or
Gin
some
juice.
kind of alcoholic version of tea, depending on your preferences. It's a very cramped, cozy little tower, and Rictavio is here to help you.
That seems unlike anything else that we've met in this scenario.
Well, he's not
I
from
am
here.
unlike anyone you have met in this scenario. Is scenario another word for Barovia?
Big scenario.
Yeah. Please. What questions can I answer for you? Because information is the greatest weapon, except unless you are fighting the vampire, in which case you will want a stake. But in a way, I've already answered a question about stakes for you just then.
I have a question about the devil, as he is referred to by inhabitants of these parts.
Strahd von Zarovich, the devil of Barovia, the beast I came to this land to slay, but he is more fearsome than I could have predicted.
Perhaps you could give
Your
us
question,
some insight.
Your question, Crucible.
Yes, perhaps. I was hoping you could give us some insight into how best to confront him. If we are, as you believe us to be, these chosen ones, we feel woefully under-equipped, and he has already sent his minions after us. So,
Strahd von Zarovich is a powerful dark force. I have taken down many a vampire in my days, but none like him. Even if I were a younger man, he might still be too much for me. He has been ruling over this land for centuries. Even before he turned to darkness, he was a warlord and a conqueror, and he brought in his armies and he took this land and built up his castle, and then he extended his life forever through these dark means. And his servants are many in this land, and his reach is great. You will need every ally and resource you can possibly find and scrounge up if you are to have any chance against him. And I suspect you spoke that you have already met with Madame Eva. She is strange. She is the Vistani. They are loyal to Strahd, but I think she sees the bigger picture for Barovia, and she has the sight.
And she gave us certain clues for things that may help us in this journey, but
Clues, you say?
well, one such clue is a weapon that we are seeking, but you've already mentioned that the surroundings are quite perilous. Perhaps we had best strike at Strahd indirectly, trying to hack away at his resources and his support.
That sounds like a lot less fun.
If we devalue the gold, sort of over the
I
course of
don't
20
understand
to
that at
40
all.
years, we might be able to make a dent.
No, we didn't take the gold that had his face on it, so its value should remain the same regardless of whose
My
face.
friends, it is good strategy that you bring to this, but you must remember he himself is immortal. He plays the long game. You must strike fast and sharp if you are to have any hope The longer you are in this land of Barovia, the more your attention you will draw, and perhaps the more likely he will be to direct his forces upon you and rend you asunder.
Well, we know
But tell
where
me,
he
what
is.
I
But
love clues. Surely you have figured them all out. Tell me of them.
Well, we were informed that perhaps in a mountainside abbey, we might be able to find ourselves an ally who would be powerful against the fight, powerful in the fight against Strahd.
And of course, you know where this mountainside abbey is at this point.
I believe it is near Krensk.
Indeed.
do you know anything of this abbey?
It is a horrible place. There is it is
Very
desolate. There is an abbot who oversees it. I am uncertain if he is directly allied with Strahd or just twisted by his own madness. But the people of Krentz do not go there.
Is there a Costello?
No, not to my
Only-
knowledge.
Only some
Reference
people.
acknowledged.
Thank you.
Abbott and Costello, famous monster hunters from my realm, but a little bit hapless.
My
Just like
left
us.
hand crossbow is Abbott, and my right.
One time they did fight a mummy. Fight is a
Huh?
strong word.
Hmm.
We were also told about I'm looking at our notes. We were
Mm.
also told about
Notes,
a
very good.
history, someplace in the castle to seek the history of Strahd,
Hmm.
to learn
This is
about
what I
him.
have been investigating. I do not yet totally know the means by which he became the vampire that he is. For he is a vampire. He is a creature of the night, and he has sired many offspring of his own. That is to say, he has turned good, noble, people of Barovia. Okay people. Fine, acceptable people of Barovia. He has corrupted them and turned them into vampires. But it is unclear to me if there was a vampire that turned Strahd himself. I know little of his life before he was a human, except that he was this conqueror. He was this warlord. He built this castle. But there must be something in his history
So he built the castle before or after he became a vampire?
before.
And you know a lot about vampires. Is there a way
I know everything about vampires. I have slain many? When does several become many? Double digits,
12.
certainly. Yes.
That is a lot of vampires.
More than 12. Some of them were vampire spawn, but many of them were vampires.
Is there
Wait,
a
wait,
way?
wait. Okay, hold on. What's the difference between vampire and vampire spawn?
Vampire
Brodish gets
spawn
excited.
they are vampiric, but they do not have the full powers of the vampire. They serve a vampire. Like a vampire nest has a vampire or a small family of vampire. And then they have an assortment of vampire spawns that,
Vampire
bidding.
spawn is kind of a
Ah.
mediocre.
So if they're a
comic
main
book.
character, they're a vampire.
Yes. Main difference between vampire and vampire spawn is that vampires have names and vampire spawns are more disposable.
Are vampire spawns also susceptible to garlic?
I do not know of this garlic of which you are speaking.
I pull out some garlic. This is garlic.
Ah! Yes. We call it night fruit where I am from.
Okay.
I don't think that has any effect on vampires.
Oh, I heard it did. I was so sure.
Rictavio takes a bulb of garlic and just
Oh my
chomps on it.
god.
He's welcome to it.
Man after my
It's
own heart.
kind of a mess. He should
there-
have peeled it first.
Is there a way that he may be perhaps deprived of his immortality or weakened in some way to make it possible to kill him?
You must fight him. You must fight him to the death.
I was
And
thinking
then,
something less direct.
when he is incapacitated, you will drive a wooden spike right through his heart. And that is how you slay a vampire. And then you cut off the head for good measure.
See, I told you.
They also do
Huh.
not care for sunlight or running water.
They do not care about them, or they do not care for them. This
They
is very
seem to
important.
It seems to pain them to experience either of those.
So he probably doesn't take very many showers.
Or walks.
I believe he flies, and he has a terrible steed that he rides.
Oh. Terrible,
kind of
as in like it doesn't
steed?
go very fast?
No, terrible, and it is like an explosion and a thunderstorm all wrapped together in one horse.
That sounds awesome.
Oh. That's
It is
awesome.
very
Sounds
metal.
Thunder
Sounds
horse.
terrible to me. Dun,
Thunder.
dun.
But yes, he can also take the form of a variety of creatures. Wolves.
Like an
Is he a
bats,
druid?
really big wolves. Mainly wolves and bats is what I hear.
Hmm.
So your
So are
point about
vampires druids?
Oh my god.
Well,
I don't like it.
I do believe that Strahd von Zarovich has command of magical powers beyond that of even a mundane vampire. I
Can he
believe
speak
that
to
these may be
plants?
powers that he collected in his mortal days and has only refined over his centuries of existence.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
what kind of powers? Like say we were up against him, like really ready to fight. What kind of stuff would he throw at us, do you think?
I think that he is a very powerful spellcaster and can control the elements and perhaps warp your minds.
Oh, I
that
hate when that
sounds
happens.
most
That
dangerous.
happens way too often.
Yes. Let us not do the mind warp again.
You have these clues, you have these objects that you will find, and those will be the keys. Those are the blocks with which you will build the bridge to success, to turn all of Barovia to the light, to the goodness. This would be a great time to invest in real estate, I am thinking.
Yeah,
Right.
write that
Well,
down. Write that on your notes, Rictavio.
It seems as though our priority should be assembling these items and other resources then.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably listen to Madame Eva because, not only did she come highly recognized by Father Donovich, but yeah, if good old
Her
Ricky
Yelp
here
rating
thinks
is also excellent.
Yeah, Yelp in Barovia is just
Screaming.
just a guy.
It's
It's
just-
just a guy screaming in the woods.
yeah.
we've made
I
it.
think I may have made that joke already.
Oh, we're
100%, I
recycling
can
our
guarantee it.
Oh, thanks, Erica.
You're welcome.
What other questions do we have for Ricky?
How do we get out of Barovia?
It is unclear how one can get out of Barovia. People come here. People do not leave. The Vistani have the ability to leave. They come and go from Barovia as they please because they are given this power by Strahd von Zarovich himself. And it is my hope that once he is defeated, all the people of Barovia will be free to come and go as they please. And Barovia will be reconnected to the world at large.
Do the
But if
Vistani
you-
have
didn't
the
tell us
ability to
that.
take people with them?
I believe they do, but they do not take anyone with them that is not, if they are not under the explicit direction of the devil.
Hmm.
If you, I don't know if you've tried it yourself. If you march north for 5 days, you'll suddenly find yourself marching south. It's the mists are quite bewildering.
It
If
is
you
very-
Oh, yeah, that
truly
happened to
are
us
the
once.
if you truly are the chosen ones, you cannot just leave, even if some Vistani would carry you like a bindle over the border. You can't turn away from something like this.
Your
I
friend
suppose
is
not.
right. She speaks of destiny, of fate.
I'm in.
You are adventurers. It is your job to conquer evil or die in glorious battle.
I was actually thinking of our friend Irina, who is waiting downstairs with the horse. We've been trying to keep her safe, and that's not an easy thing to do here in Barovia because it's terrible. And I was just thinking if there was a way to get her away, that would be nice. And we also happen to have a handy Vistani also waiting downstairs
Wow.
with our pony.
Tell me of this arena. What are you protecting her from? There are many evils in Barovia.
I mean,
Big
all of
Barovia.
them, of course.
She is the
Well.
adopted daughter of a burgermeister out in Little Barovia. She, I suppose, was found wandering in the woods when she was a child
With her brother.
with her brother, Izek Strozny, the man with the monster arm.
Ah, yes, I remember Izek. Terrible, terrible
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you know he had a sister? Pretty wild
did-
when we learned
I
about
did-
it.
I did not. Barovia, it is never boring here.
Yeah, and then also a bat/vampire came and tried to charm her out of the window when we were staying at the inn in Valaki.
Did you know which vampire it was?
Did we see the face of the vampire clearly?
I threw a knife at him.
didn't
Did
ask
I
its
recognize him?
I think that you recognize the face as the face on the coins.
On the coin, yeah. I think it might have actually been the big dude himself.
You are saying the devil Strad von Zarovich knows of you and your passage through Barovia?
Oh, he definitely does. He invited us to
yeah,
dinner.
That's right. He totally
He
invited us
invited
over.
you to dinner?
Sorry, should we have mentioned that
not
previously?
It seems like it would have come up earlier.
Well,
We get a lot of dinner
obviously,
invitations.
obviously, we did not say yes.
lot's
We're keeping our
happened.
options open.
Mhm. Yeah, our schedule is, full these days.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. Heavy.
I
well.
had forgotten about that. Mhm.
Mm.
Which is totally legit for
So,
Brildish's
Strad von
intelligence.
Zarovich is obsessed with this woman, Irina.
Mhm.
And you are protecting her. You are all that stands between her and her becoming a victim of the devil of the night himself.
Well, us and Pony Cindelart, who is downstairs with your horse.
That is your
Gisela.
horse.
Pony.
Yes.
Yes. And one kind of pathetic assassin. That's your crew right now.
He's surprisingly strong.
Yes.
I mean, he tried to murder all of you?
Yes,
He's weak,
but that
he's
was
weak of will.
Okay.
Very competent.
yeah.
And
That
we-
was then.
We spoke before of the town of Berez and what happened there, and I can't help but notice some parallels between that story and where you find yourselves now.
How so?
Well, I believe as we spoke before, there was a woman in the town of Berez that Strad von Zarovich was obsessed with,
Correct.
and the Burgermeister of Berez refused to turn her over to Strad, and so Strad, it is said that he redirected an entire river to drown all of Berez.
Isn't that
and then-
running water? Don't vampires not like running water?
Yeah.
Probably he had his minions do it. He commands a variety
Say
of
civil.
Oh,
Yes.
like
civil
vampire
engineer.
spawn.
yeah. The Vastani have a
The
large
mummy corps of
core-
engineers.
Yes, yes. I'm
Can-
just, sorry, just imagining a mummy in a hard hat, holding some blueberries and then yelling at a bunch of mummies that are inexpertly like running a crane. It's really hard to
sounds like an
drive a
R.L.
crane when
Stein
your
book.
arms only stick out straight
Yeah, and you can't
true.
see because your eyes are covered in ancient
you-
gauzy bandages.
because you're a mummy. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
mummies kind of like ninjas. Like one mummy is kind of scary, but like 7 mummies, not very scary.
it's not added.
No,
So
it's in fact each additional mummy,
Subtractive.
like each additional ninja, just makes them less impressive.
do you know why he was so obsessed with this woman in Berez?
I do not know. Perhaps you will find answers in Berez.
Perhaps we will.
You've not been there.
But you have. I warned you also that there is a woman that controls the swamps of Berez now, who is very loyal.
Yes, and has a hut
Strahd.
that can move
Baba
around and stuff.
Yaga, I believe.
Mhm.
To. Indeed, legally distinct. So from folklore, you gotta watch out for those folklore lawyers. They'll get you.
Folk lawyers.
Yeah.
So
Um,
just one, not
But yes,
a trio.
we have covered a
not
great
a
deal of ground.
trio of which because we don't want to
Yes.
do
No.
3 again. That was,
yeah, that was kind of
rough.
complicated.
But yes, we were speaking of. So you have a dinner invitation. You are escorting a woman who he is obsessed with. You know of the town of Perez. This is a lot. I admit I don't usually have company here. This is all very new for me.
We're sorry if we're kind of overwhelming. We get that a lot.
The invitation to dinner is upsetting and most disturbing, but it is said that Strahd is a nobleman and he does honor the guest rights. It is unlikely he would murder you during a meal.
But not
Really?
impossible.
I would say it has taken us an extremely long time to get from the vicinity of the castle here, so I would hate to have to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, heaven, I hate to say that the logistics are what makes me hesitant to take dinner with the devil, but they do play upon my mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's not on the T, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like on a Wednesday, you
Yeah.
know.
You have to switch to 2 buses. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barovian buses,
Ugh.
do not even try.
Yeah.
They don't call it bus Rovia.
No.
They don't.
No.
But please, more of these clues. Surely you have discovered the meaning of all of them, and there's nothing I can help you with there.
Well, there was one that referenced the winery, which we had also heard of, the Wizard of Wines, I believe, winery.
What was the clue about that? That is peculiar.
I think it had to do with an object we could find that could aid us.
Seek a cask that once contained the finest wine, of which not a drop remains.
We have also heard tell that there is a disruption in the flow of wine from the winery. So,
You bring news that is news to me. But say the clue one more time. There was something about that.
Seek a cask that once contained the finest wine, of which not a drop remains.
The finest wines. That is interesting. The Wizards of Wine Winery is not known. No offense to the Donovich family, but well, they're just not known for producing the finest wines. It's more like they produce
wines.
the only wine. I wonder if perhaps the finest wines might be something within the castle itself. Something from the before times when finer things were available.
At grocery stores.
Strahd's castle?
Like toilet paper.
I speak of none other, Ravenloft itself. It is an immense structure. I have not made it past the first floor, and even my excursions there have been, well, I'm an old man, and my heart is not what it used to be.
But you made it out.
I did.
What kind of stuff did you battle while you were there? What did you fight?
Oh, there are bats, and there are gargoyles, and there are skeletons, and there are ghosts, and there are werewolves, and there are zombies, and there was one mummy.
And
which was
what are the
scary.
weaknesses of each and every one of those?
Oh, and he rattles off a variety of things.
That
Silvered
we
weapon-
canonically know?
Yeah, sure. Silvered weapons is a big deal for a variety of. I think, as a general rule of advice, if you are going up against these creatures, you will wish to find magical weapons, and silvered weapons in particular are particularly effective against some of these creatures. I will tell you, all of my excursions there were brief and during daytime, which offered some manner of protection, but an excursion that would take you either deeper or higher up into the castle would no doubt take you more than a day and risk spending a night in Castle Ravenloft.
Is Strahd, as a vampire, is he awake during the day or does he slumber?
He slumbers, I believe. It is possible that the upper chambers may be completely sealed off from the sunlight, but I believe it is my belief that he sleeps in a crypt far beneath Castle Ravenloft. That is where the vampire is at home, a place where he was interred. I believe that he is like others of his kind, but I have not found the entrance to the crypts myself, and even if I knew where they were, I'm not sure I would dare go there by myself. That is where he would be at his greatest strength, and likely others of his kind would be all around him.
All around me.
That sounds rough.
If you will.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like we really
But I
need
think
to go
that
to the
clue
swamp.
speaks not of the Wizards of Wine Winery, but perhaps a place within Castle Ravenloft where Strahd von Zarovich would keep his wine.
Well,
So you're saying we shouldn't go fix the wine thing?
You must follow the call of adventure, friends. That is one thing I have learned as an experienced monster hunter. You go where the action is.
Well, the winery was also like at least in the direction of the abbey, correct?
Roughly speaking, yes.
Okay.
We are not far from either the winery or the town of Krensk, which is home to the abbey.
But
There
now
are
this
many places you could go in Barovia, all of them full of horrors and potentially rewards. It is a good time to be alive, friends.
yes, I would like to
Sure
stay
about
that way. Several of our clues seem to reference things that are found inside the castle itself. So it seems as though at some point we must venture in there, perhaps well in advance of our attempt to confront Strahd himself.
Perhaps you may find yourself making multiple excursions there.
Oh no.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
The castle is quite an immense place. Why, it's as if one was writing a book, an adventure story about it, they might brag of the number of rooms within the castle, telling you that it had over 100 chambers. But they don't say in there that many of those are just the individual crypts in the basement. So,
Now,
Check.
one of the clues
Good
had to
advice.
do with somebody who would aid us in our quest. Is that you? Do you
I
think?
do not think so, but I am here to help you.
Oh.
I believe your clue about aiding someone was related to
the Abbey.
The Abbey, yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of aid, it may be gauche to ask a craftsman about his tools, but do you have any spare silvered weapons? They are in short supply as far as we can find, and I don't know where we would accumulate them
Point
on
to-
our travels.
Let's
Let's
this
see.
is
Hold
actually a
on.
relevant question, Tony, because
Yeah.
my ability to my channel divinity option, which lets me actually create metal things, it can create ammunition or a simple or
Mhm.
martial weapon. I guess my question is, can I create something silvered?
I am reading. I googled that while Jane was asking that question.
Aha.
I think between
'Cause silvered is not considered magical per se.
no,
Right, it's just
I
got
think
silver on it.
I
Right.
think between with Rictavio's expertise and Crucible's master craftsmanship, you could create a variety of silvered weapons and silvered ammunition.
Would you be able to silver an existing weapon, like take my axe or
Yeah.
my javelins and
I think
silver
that is
the,
what
the tip
they're
of it?
that is what they're ready to do. Yeah, great question.
I get axe. That axe
You
is
could-
gonna be
you
with
could-
us
you
till
could
the
use
day
silver-
You die.
It
You
is.
could use some silver to like plug the dents in it. I feel,
Yeah.
says Brodlich, I feel like that would be a fitting tribute to Hala, I think, to help bring this poor battered axe, back to some semblance of the glory that it once held before I smashed it against a bunch of things. So I'm all for this.
All right.
And in fact, I don't know if you could silver the magical axe because magical items generally can't be adulterated.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I will
it's
say
gotta
that,
be the plot axe.
So Rictavio says, "What a brilliant idea!" Cue montage. You're back down in the basement. Rictavio is like smelting stuff, and Crucible is there, like pouring things, and you're dipping ammunition and like hammering it silver into things. And at one point, Drusilla, his horse is working the tongs, and Pony Cindelarn is staring on in amazement. And I would say at this point, you can decide that whatever mundane weapons you have are now count as silvered, and a finite amount of ammunition for your range weapons are silvered. So you could probably, how's that?
Nice.
Wow, good question. That's a thing he could do. Apparently, I've decided.
I mean, he's a
Love it.
famous monster hunter.
But
Yeah,
you have to tell
he's-
it's
He's
important
ready
now.
to silver stuff.
You have to tell us
And
what
so-
song was playing during that montage.
Do we have a bard in this group? That's got to be somebody else's.
No bards in Barovia.
What?
That's
We have
right.
no bard in this group? Wow.
Well,
don't
no,
have a
because
bard
there's
in
no
this
bards in Barovia.
I have not
like
played
said.
an adventure without a bard in weeks. It's
More than a feeling.
it's weird. Yeah, more than a feeling. Okay.
Love it.
So the musical montage wraps up, and you stand looking over your work appreciatively. The table is full.
We
of
all
silvered-
like have our
silvered
arms
weapons.
crossed and
Yeah.
we're nodding.
Yeah. Rictavio takes the goggles off his head and then puts his little spectacles back on. And he says, "Aha! Now you are ready. Now all of you are monster hunters."
Woohoo! Oh, it's
Awesome.
A monster hunter.
Yay. Broldish is super stoked, you guys. Super stoked.
So, Brolders, just remind me, you have an axe that you use.
Yes.
You also have a magic axe.
Well, I have I have a great axe, a battle axe that I
Okay.
use that is now silvered, and I have
Mhm.
a great axe that I wear on my back, and that occasionally, like Irina grabbed it once and made mincemeat of a hag. So
Okay,
it's not
Because
like
it's
gonna be
magic.
+2?
it is a +2 great axe.
That is a hell of a weapon to leave on the shelf, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
I'm just.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would have to. That's my character's bond. See, I feel like I should be getting inspiration every time I attack with my with my battle axe.
every time.
Yep.
Maybe
at the start of every battle.
Can we have?
As a dungeon master, that's an interesting feeling that you have.
I'm just saying it would completely break my character if I stopped using my.
Is there somebody else who should be using that axe?
No, I'm Dex.
That's
I
the
don't think
problem.
so.
We don't have any. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
I don't think I can use it because it's a martial weapon.
Mhm.
It's
Is there
not
a feat
it
you
is.
can take?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
It's
at
martial,
level
it's
8.
heavy,
Because
and
it might be
two-handed.
worthwhile to burn a feat slot so that
Yeah.
you get the +2.
I mean,
Yeah,
my weapon.
Crucible spends his leveling up montage where he's like his arm pops up and he has to do a bunch of hammering on the axe, and then the axe fits into the arm slot.
Yes.
I can only use simple weapons. I had another question for Rictavio.
Please, now that we have finished our montage of smithing, I'm ready for more questions and more tea. Back to the tower rooftop.
I am in search of components for spells that might be of use in our adventuring. Is there a place or a way that you recommend I could acquire some of those?
Sadly, I find these things are in short supply in Barovia, Big Barovia. I suspect your best bet might be among the Vistani just because they travel to and from this land, but they are likely to charge a hefty price for any such items.
For example, it would be handy to have on hand. How much money do we have, by the way? Do we have that accounted for somewhere?
Yeah. Let's see.
I think it was Aline that had that.
1,800 golds, 9,000 silver, 300 copper.
Okay.
3,000 copper.
I need 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. Don't ask. Don't ask
no
why.
diamonds.
Just give it to me, and I gotta go.
Aragal perks up and says, I can help you out.
Oh my!
I don't.
He pulls
All the
over
way
his
from the
cloak,
first
and he has
floor.
a variety of shiny objects in little pouches up and down
This is
his
a side of
cloak.
you we have not seen before.
Oh yeah, the
My
inside
people-
of his cloak.
Travel to and from Barovia at the behest of our Dark Lord, and you never mentioned, you never asked. I would have been happy to sell you these things. They're quite pointy. I don't like carrying them inside my coat.
Okay, that's good to know.
So what can I interest you in?
Well, I could use, if people are okay with us spending some money, I could use 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds if any of you would ever like to come back from the dead.
Yes, please.
Ooh.
Oh, I have a variety.
Is that some
of diamonds.
revivify diamonds?
And some revivified diamonds.
Yes, please.
I have a variety of diamonds that I think would be just what you're looking for, and I would be happy to part with 3 that I think would meet your magical needs. 900 gold pieces.
Ugh.
It's your call, guys.
I
That's
have
half
no
of our
use.
gold.
I have no use for.
What are we
For
going to
money.
buy? It's
That's
Barovia.
You're going to buy these 3 slightly overpriced diamonds that I am selling to you, friends.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like heaven forbid one of us remains dead because we're like, maybe we'll be able to. Maybe we want to buy a
Old
great
Vistani
quantity
saying, you
of
can't take it with you.
great quantity of moldy bread of a
So
wagon.
that's, to be clear, that's good for 3 uses of that spell, Tony?
Yes, he is selling you 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds for 900 gold pieces.
Oh, no, 300 gold pieces will only get me 1 spell, so
Oh,
that's 1 spell worth.
yes.
Okay.
I
Well-
mean, you could negotiate.
300, 900 gold pieces seems excessive. Perhaps, instead, you would be willing for cost at 300 gold pieces.
Friend, and I say I do not use those words loosely. Crucible, we have been through thick and thin. You have saved my life. I have saved your life. One would say we are even. I would just ask you, look around this tower, look upon my face, and ask yourself, is any other Vistani here selling you diamonds?
How
I
about
would-
1,000 gold pieces?
I would remind
for-
you graciously that you tried to kill us.
I would remind you graciously,
we didn't kill
I
you.
didn't kill you.
The feeling is mutual.
800
And
gold
also-
pieces.
You could also remind him graciously that there are more of us and only one of him.
Pay him the 800 gold pieces.
700, and we will never speak another word of it.
700.
He's arguing against himself. 600.
You insult me, sir. 700 is a reasonable offer.
Fine.
How about 1,000 for two of them?
Yeah,
Says
1,000
Brobich.
for 2 spells worth. 1,000 for 2 spells worth.
Fine, and we will never speak of this again.
Okay.
Never?
Never! I said
Okay.
never.
All right.
Speak of what?
I don't know.
Exactly. Dan, you now have 2 expensive diamonds you can use for whatever thing you need.
My Revivify spell, yes.
Argal is off in the corner counting your money.
Yeah, he's still with us, and he's, as he said, you can't take it with you. So if he happens to die while we're with him,
I'm not spending that on him, is my point.
Yeah, Aline, please make a note that Aragal
Please
Not
do
only-
keep in mind that he is much more powerful than
That's true.
any of us.
oh,
By a
I forgot he's a
significant
strong
margin.
lad. I forgot he's such a strong lad.
He
is.
forgets most of the time, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he is weak of will,
So yeah,
But
but if he should
strong of crossbow.
if he should pass on
I mean,
while
his
he's
heart
with us,
was not in it when he was sent to murder you
Yeah.
guys.
That's true.
Yeah, if he should pass on, we won't be revivifying him. We'll just be revivifying the money he has with him.
And
Yeah.
taking
And the
all of the
other
rest of the
jewels.
stuff that
Yeah.
he's got inside of his cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we love him
Eh.
just as much as we love our listeners.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yowza.
Rictavio is very impressed by your transaction with the Vistani.
I love to think of him just sitting back there, sort of, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. He doesn't see a lot of excitement here. in
No,
his
this
tower.
is
In my
this
head,
is the most excitement Drusilla has seen in the basement of this tower since about 2 weeks ago when those werewolves broke in.
in my head, he is played by Jeff Goldblum from Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Headcanon accepted.
Oh my God, yes. Who did I say last time? Because it was wrong. It should have been Jeff Goldblum.
I can't do
No,
a Jeff
it-
Goldblum impersonation. So
It's Timothy Olmanson. Timothy Olmanson all
that's
the
right.
way.
I remember I
The
had
way
to look
that
him
Jane-
up,
That's tough.
but then I
the
was
way
like,
that Jane says Timothy Oliphant is weird, isn't it?
No.
It's just her thick Boston
Wow,
accent.
the Timothy Oliphant version of this is very different.
Yes.
Yeah,
really, really
jeez.
It's considerably
Oh no,
handsomer.
that guy creeps me out. Timothy O.
He's good. He's good, actually.
He has some villain roles, but yeah. All right. Very good. You have silvered weapons. You have diamonds you will use to cheat death itself, but in a mortal, acceptable, non-dark artsy kind of way. What else, friends? What else can we do for you here to prepare you to do battle with the devil himself and succeed? You will succeed where thousands of other heroes have come off wanting. I know it.
thousands?
Because I am here and I've seen it and I have given you the advice that will make you successful.
Ah, so you are the thing that the other adventurers didn't have before.
That's what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
I like
Also,
that.
I don't think any of them were like a weird metal guy like Crucible.
That also helps.
I'm not a guy.
What time is it?
In
We
We
had
real
that
life
whole
or in the
montage
game?
thing, so it's got to
Yeah,
be
I
late.
don't know. I have no idea. Let's say it is getting to be early evening.
No, I'm thinking we don't head out at
I
nightfall.
cannot let travelers go out at night. There are werewolves in these woods, and I know you have fought one and made short work of it, but surely the next time there will be more and more after that, and so on. There is a den of them nearby. I've been meaning to deal with them, but it's a whole thing. So,
Just by yourself?
well,
Well, with
I
your
was
tiger.
going to bring my tiger and my horse,
Right.
but yes.
Oh, I should tell you, by the way. I know the name of your tiger.
Oh, you spoke with her. Very good. I'm so pleased for you.
Yeah, would you like to know her name?
Oh, she'll tell me when she's ready.
Okay, that's probably for the best.
You seem to have a connection with her that is deep and spiritual and meaningful. You know, I've been always thinking it is not proper to keep a majestic beast like that cooped up here in this small little tower. Perhaps she could be my parting gift to you, the weapon that will lead you to the other weapon that you are destined to fight and take down the Devil Strahd.
Let me just double check what you're saying here because it sounds like Elevor just got a familiar.
Well, it's up to her, of course, but yes, I'm thinking that you should bring it up with her. And she's when I first brought her to the tower, she was much smaller, and it's not honestly, it's not practical. You've seen how small the room is at the top of the tower.
Yeah, it's kind of bad in here.
Yeah, tigers
will,
aren't really house cats, I suppose.
Will kneel down in front of Samis, how did I say it was pronounced? Samis, and will sort of whisper something into her ear, give her a pet, and then sort of turn his head to the side, and that is him asking the question, would you like to come with us?
The giant saber-tooth tiger kind of yawns, and then with his giant tongue kind of licks Elevor's head. And you are now friends. You are now friends for life.
We have a hell of a menagerie happening here.
Yeah. The key that I'm going to make is that you guys have to manage all this junk because I'm not doing it. So
deal.
But yes,
I think that means Lena and I are the only ones who don't have pets.
I will tell you, I ran this adventure
Lena's
for
pet
other
is
people,
Aragorn.
and they found at one point like a pen full of goats, and they're like, each of us gets a goat. And I was like, no, each of you does not get a goat. You don't. Especially if you're not like, they're like, we need 7 goat names now, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play this game anymore. once there's a spreadsheet of goats, that's when I'm out. That's
this far and no further.
Yeah, that's my breaking limit as a dungeon master. Spreadsheet of goats or 2 bards, either of those two is a line I will not cross. So, yeah, you hear that, Dan?
Check.
Yeah.
So we've gotten some scuttlebutt on our clues.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten silvered weapons. We've gotten a tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we can beat that.
At this point, do you have, just asking you as players, not characters, do you feel like you've decoded all of the clues? You know what they mean?
Most of
do
them
you want to go through them?
Most of them are in the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
so
one that's near here,
I'm just
though.
going to run through them just to kind of remind all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the first card, these are from Madame Eva's reading that you did, only a couple days ago in your travels in Barovia, but months ago.
Feels like a long time.
Our lives. She did a reading where she looked at 5 cards that would give you information about your travels in Barovia. And the first card was the location of something called the Tome of Strahd. The card tells of history, knowledge of the ancient that will help you better your understanding of your enemy. And she told you that you will find what you seek in the castle amid the ruins of a place of supplication. Specifically, the card that she flipped over for that was the priest or the master of
possibly a chapel or something like that.
And it seems safe to assume that a large castle would have a chapel. She told you of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope, and that was in seek a cask that once contained the finest wines, of which not a drop remains.
So that we also believe to be in the castle somewhere.
Yeah. The card of power and strength, a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. And the 9 of stars, she saw a dead village drowned by water, ruled by one who has brought great evil into the world. Seems like that couldn't be anything other than Berez. So Berez is the dead village drowned by a river. The 4th card was Strahd's enemy. This is one who will aid you in your quests. Seek them out and protect them from the devil's wrath, and you will gain an advantage in your fight to come. The Tempter, I hear a wedding bell, or perhaps a death knell. It calls thee to a mountainside abbey, wherein you will find a woman who is more than the sum of her parts. So you know about the abbey. And finally, this one you have not spent much time on because it's a later one. Castle Ravenloft is a labyrinth of the damned, haunted by many vile beings. When you are ready to confront the Devil Strahd, you will find him and she flipped over the card, the Innocent. He dwells with the one whose blood sealed his doom, a brother of light snuffed out too soon. I don't know if you've thought about that one, but that seems like you're not in a rush.
Yeah.
This is the best Seder I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time in Barovia. So.
Oh God.
No. Anything else that we wish to do before you turn in for the evening? Rictavio / Rudolph von Richten waters down some stew to try and spread it among the many people that are now in his tower. And
given that this is a very magical tower of magicalness from a very magical person at one point, I I know
Yes,
you.
I believe a lich once lived here. Or something.
Yes,
Something
lich,
really bad.
Please.
Lich, please. That's amazing. I know that you have done us such a great service by silvering some of our weapons and by allowing us to, or rather, allowing your friend to accompany us on this trip. But I was just curious if you, I mean, you know, we all benefit from the destruction of Strahd. Have you happened across anything in this lichy tower that magical or otherwise that we could use in terms of spell components or magical objects or items, say a rug with a unicorn on it, perhaps, or anything
I
like
have
that?
scoured every inch of this tower. It has these clay golems that operate the elevator. I'm pretty sure that suit of armor, he points over his shoulder to a suit of armor in the corner by his bed, gives me the willies, probably haunted, haven't figured out for sure yet. But sadly, little remains of whatever wizard or lich once called this tower home long before. I suspect that he made his departure in the time before Strahd, so it has sat empty for quite some time. Really had to do a lot of dusting when I first got here. Let me tell you.
Brildish immediately goes over to the suit of armor. Brildish had a run-in with an animated suit of armor in the death house way long time ago. So yeah, definitely getting it the one over. 4.
It looks just like that one from Death House.
Just give it a lot.
Is it holding a weapon?
Yeah, it's holding a sword.
Can I take the sword out of its hand?
Sure.
I take the sword out of its hand and put it far across the room. Just set it down onto the
All
window.
right.
Can we look at that weapon a little closer just to see if it's got anything special about it?
Sure. It
All
just looks
right.
like a sword.
I've got an identify, always prepared.
Hey, Dan, you can't
Yep.
use magic in here.
Son of a...
Wait, so you said that
You
without
can
me
take the sword
rolling.
outside.
That's true.
That's a lot of work. You have to go down the elevator.
There's no stairs though. It's not that much work.
What
Eldor,
about with a
feel-
21 on perception?
You feel extremely confident that there is nothing special about this sword. It just
Okay.
appears to be a mundane sword. It's quite old. It looks like it was probably more ornamental than functional.
Gotcha.
It's a long, pointy piece of metal, but it doesn't look like it was really meant to cut something so much as to stand there and look good with a suit of armor holding it.
Okay, now I want to check the thingy itself. Oh, I got a 6. Darn it.
It
See, it's creepy.
looks like you feel confident that it's made of metal.
Okay,
Oh.
everyone else is really inspecting this,
Yes.
so now I want to also
What?
really inspect it.
Yes! Do
Oh
it,
god,
do
this is
it.
the giant hand all over again.
Barovian peer pressure.
That is going to be a 18.
I feel like there's nothing I'm going to say that won't be incredibly disappointing, except that it looks like a suit of armor.
Oh,
It's quite dusty. Does that help?
Lena sneezes.
my life has changed.
Okay.
So, why did you decide to move into what you suspect is a Lich's Tower? That seems like a really interesting decision.
It was available.
The real estate
the-
market is tough.
The location
Yeah.
is good. It is not. It is a little. It is just outside of the area immediately near any of the towns. Which not that your average Barovian isn't wonderful. He says nervously with Lena nearby. But many of them are servants of the devil, and it is I try to limit how much time I spend in a given town.
Are you a
Do you know-
squatter?
Yes, it was available.
Do you know why the Vistani work so closely with Strahd?
Some of them do it with glee, and some of them are very reluctant. I do not know. I think that it may be there may be some clue in his history, but I think the Vistani were here before the other people arrived in Barovia, and so they are his servants. They are loyal to him, and in return for the ability to come and go from Barovia and profit off the people here. It is an exchange of loyalty for protection and the riches that they are provided by their station. Some of them more enthusiastic about the endeavor than others. Some of the people in Barovia, Big Barovia, will paint the Vistani with a wide brush, but there are subtleties to them, and Madame Eva herself is clearly she is one of great influence within the Vistani community, but not beholden to all that the Vistani would claim to be.
Why does Strahd let her get away with that?
I suspect that he is unaware of her actions.
Well, let's not tell him, guys.
I don't know what else we will talk about at dinner.
Not politics.
Yeah.
No.
Lena Delina, I will tell you, you feel
1%er.
Lena, you feel it confident that that it is an animated suit of armor, but that it's deactivated, and that some unknown command word would be required to activate it, and probably has not been activated in centuries.
It's as easy as up and down. Maybe it's just activate.
When there's a lull in conversation, I kind of sidle up to Drictavia, and I'm like, that's the active. I mean, needs a command word, obviously, but
Obviously! I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's a animated suit of armor. It just isn't animated because
I don't know what the command word is.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Of course. It is not haunted. It is just magic. I knew that.
Maybe
yes,
it's like
of
Wi-Fi
course. You are
router.
such a famous monster hunter. Of course you knew that already. I mean,
is an animated suit of armor a monster? That is a complicated question in the monster hunter community. It could serve a monster, surely.
I didn't even know that there was a monster hunter community.
Oh,
there are wonders outside of these baleful mists.
We're big on Usenet.
Like the sheep.
Yeah.
That's how you catch them.
Yes, you use net.
Yeah.
That's how you catch anything, really.
That's true.
Yeah. That's just net, Stan. Which, unlike rope, are totally legitimate.
Well, nothing but net, Tony.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Any other questions? I feel like you have learned a lot. You have made an important ally. You have gained resources and information.
We had a montage.
Rictavio has just given out pets left and right since he has given away in this adventure so far a saber-tooth tiger and a monkey. So, yeah.
True. And we found out that one of our leads is in a completely different place than we thought it was. So,
that's good.
Yeah,
we would have gone through a lot of casks of wine.
Yeah.
I mean,
and been like, where's the plot item?
There is still a reason to go to the Wizards of Wine Winery because there's no wine coming out, and that's bad. And so that begs the question, where will you go next? Your night is peaceful and without event. No Vistani assassins, no additional Vistani assassins are sneaking around. No, I almost said landlords. No vampires are trying to break in through your windows.
Yeah.
Yikes, true. But the question is this: where will you go the next day? Where will your travels take you in Barovia? What adventures will you face, and what demons will seek to rend you asunder? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time for Total Party Kill. Da-da-da.
Do we do that now? Is that the thing
That's
now?
not how it ends.
That's not how it ends. That's for Erica. Erica can edit right there. Chop.
Ba-dun-dun.